What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing out there today? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG, and today we're going to try our hand at another Murders at Karlov Manor Play Booster box. And again, I feel like I say this every time I open an MKM product, whether it be a collector or a Play Booster box. I understand this is not everyone's favorite set. I think thematically there's some issues with it, but from a value standpoint, at the current price point, I actually think these boxes and this product in general is actually really incredibly solid. So, let's open some fun stuff. We are basically Surveil land hunting. That is where the large majority of the value in this set is. And when I say large majority, it's probably like 80, maybe upwards of 90% of the value in this set. But that's okay because there's 10 of them, and right now they're all pretty good in terms of value. So let's crack this thing open. Let's see how we do. And with that being said, let's crack some packs. As of the filming of this video, the Play Booster boxes are just under $100. They're sitting at like 95-ish, right? So if you think about it, applying our normal 80% ratio, you know, we're shooting for just about $80 in value. And the theory is that right now, if you were to add up all the Surveil lands and then you were to divide by the number of them, which is 10, your average the average value of your Surveil land is just under $11. You figure you pull 5 or 6 of those per box, you're most of the way there. So then if you can hit, that's the good news. The bad news is there's not a ton of value in the set outside of that, and that is an issue. Oh, that's right, there's a list. Knot of the Bone, sure. Projector Inspector. Unyielding Gatekeeper. Watchdog Surveillance. Everything else. There are some good uncommons, but it's kind of not like, you know, that's not the draw here. If we can hit something along the lines of like either a Vein Ripper, a Delny, Massacre Girl as mythics, if we hit like a decent special guest, pretty solid chance this box ends up with a plus EV, a plus expected value. All right, on the job. Rare Homicide Investigator. Hey, there we go. First of the Surveil lands, Elegant Parlor. Let's go. I think Elegant Parlor is running just about $11 right now. It was upwards of $16 or so at one point. It's kind of back down, but still, $11. That gets us a good chunk of the way there. First of the Surveil lands. We like it a lot. Right now, the most valuable of the Surveil lands is actually Undercity Sewers, the Demir Swamp Island. It's actually pushing almost $20 now. I think it's up over 19, which is crazy. So if you hit one of those, that's obviously a huge chunk of the value. All right. Undercity Eliminator. Don't get eliminated. Hey, okay. I'll stop and talk about this one. So Case of the Locked Hothouse, I think, is actually running $4, maybe even closer to $5 at this point. It is one of the very few rares outside of the Surveil lands that is above $3 right now. You've got War Leader's Call, you've got Archdruid's Charm, Leyline of the Guild Pact. It is one of the maybe 4, maybe 5. I think it's actually only 4 rares outside of the Surveil lands that is above $3. So, hey, that is extra value there. And there is our second of the Surveil lands. We have the Commercial District in the Borderless treatment. This is probably running about $11-12. So, hey, pretty hot start there. Again, I'm shooting for 5. I think anything above 5 is put you in the plus zone. The fact that there are the whole cycle, so all 10 Surveil lands are in this set, does bode well. Strong start. Elegant Parlor. Nice Insidious Roots. There's one of those really good uncommons. So, between the Commercial District and the Elegant Parlor and the Case of the Locked Hothouse, probably at like $25 in value. We're more than a fourth of the way there. And again, I think if we actually hit a special guest, they are difficult to hit, but if you hit one and it has any sort of value, certainly helps. Relive the Past. Vengeful Tracker. Everything else we're going to kind of fly through. Yeah, you know, the mythics are pretty overall pretty lackluster. I did rattle off 3 or 4 that do have some value. Rakdos is another one. After that, it's pretty bleak. So when you consider there's probably 20 mythics in the set and maybe 4 or 5 of them are above $5, it's not great. Hey, Ghost Quarter. Okay, actually I know it's an uncommon, but that is actually a fairly decent list here. I really like that. I don't really have many Ghost Quarters, so I will absolutely take that. That's cool. I'm even going to put it up top. I'll have some room at top. Case of the Ransack Lab. Undercity Eliminator. All right, that'll do it for that one. You know, as far as like if you like opening packs, and many of us do, you know, I always say like, it is not typically a profitable venture, right? That's kind of why I apply the math that I do when I talk about if I can get 80% back in just like the $3 cards and the mythics, I feel good about things. Audience with Trostani. Because if the answer was like, oh, I could just open a box and you know, I was always going to get more than the value of the box, it'd be easy game. You just rinse and repeat, right? But I think for MKM right now, at the current box price of under $100 for a play booster, there's a really solid chance that you could actually get there. I don't think it's necessarily arbitrage, but oh, Judith. Judith, not worth a whole lot, maybe $1 or $2, but it's a rare that I like, so I will put it up top as a playable card. She's pretty good. Hey, how about a Raucous Theater? So there is our third of these Surveil lands, and I think Raucous is probably running right around $7 to $8, so pretty strong. The bottom of them is the Lush Portico, the Selesnya one, right? And I think even that is like $6 pushing $7 at this point. The majority of them are kind of hanging around right around the $8 to $9 range. And then Underground Mortuary, which is the Golgari, I think that's pushing 15, 16. And of course, we talked about the Undercity Sewers. Detective's Satchel. It's not a purse, it's a satchel. Case of the Crimson Pulse. Reckless Detective. Oh, pick your poison. Still a buck or two as a common. Seeing some modern sideboard play. Coming up on the end of our first column here, and so far, quite good. Bite down on crime. First of our mythics is Urgent Necropsy. As we've discussed, outside of 3 or 4 of them, not a whole lot of value there. It's kind of funny. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind if we just keep pulling Surveil lands as rares and dodge mythics mostly altogether. I'm actually okay with that. I would like to pull something off the special guest. I feel like it's been a minute since I pulled something for myself that was good from the special guest. All right. Rare. Hey, Forensic Gadgeteer. It's not quite at 3, but I think it is like maybe $2 and change. I'm not going to put it up top. Well, you know, I will. How about that? Case of the Stash Skeleton. I don't think it's above 3, but I still like the card. Also another card I quite like. Maybe even a little bit underappreciated. Okay. And last pack of the first column. Got to feel pretty good about things so far. Would love, of course, to see a Vein Ripper, which is still the most valuable mythic right now. Foil rare. Oh, hey, not bad. Foil Leyline of the Guild Pact. If you'll recall, when this set first came out, Leyline of the Guild Pact was all the rage with Scion of the Draco and Modern and some other combo stuff. It does still see some play, but that is largely tailed off. As a result, this card has dropped mightily in price. This is probably in the $5 range, but as far as foil rares are concerned, that is a strong foil rare. Not upset at that, even a little bit. That's cool. Hey, all right, Rakdos. I think Rakdos is running about $6. This is one of the few mythics I mentioned that is kind of is at least a value hit. I seem to pull him quite a bit. That's not actually a complaint given the product. So I think Rakdos is probably about $5 or $6. Analyze the Pollen. That was a good pack. That was a really good pack. Okay, now this is the first column. So we're at 3 of the Surveil lands. We've got 2 strong rares and at least 1 value mythic and a few other good playables as well. I have no idea what else is on the list for this set. So I could be surprised. You know, maybe there's a list hidden here that could actually take us over as well. It's kind of the thought process, right? Is like, if you're going to pull 5 or 6 of the lands, and if you know, that's going to run you an average of $10 a piece, and on average, you have Teysa. Second foil rare, it is Teysa, Opulent Oligarch. Yeah, I'll throw a foil Teysa up there. All right, and another mythic, it is Alquist Proft, Master Sleuth. I think this guy's a cool build around for Commander, but he's not going to see constructed play. So there you go. It's a mythic, though. But, you know, that is kind of going back to the theory, right? If you pull 5 or 6 of the Surveil lands and they average $10 a piece, that gets you it gets you most of the way there towards your box. And if you can pull a few impact cards beyond that, you're probably in a good spot. All right, here we go. Little wrench. Drag the Canal. Lightning Helix. I also love the reprint of Lightning Helix. I'm a fan. It's funny, I don't think that card is seeing like a ton of play in Standard, as strong as it is. At this point, it might actually still see more Modern play. All right, come on. Bring on the lands. Suspicious Detonation. Connecting the Dots. Sanctuary Wall. Yep. Okay. It's a very fast, limited format. I enjoy drafting it. I actually did very well in the set. Admittedly, like I feel like I've struggled. I did actually pretty well in OTJ as well. I feel like I'm struggling in Bloomburrow. I'm not doing nearly as well. Oh, hey, there we go. All right. That is the best of the mythics right there. Vein Ripper. This card is so good. And it's running about 21, 22 bucks right now. So that is going to do quite a bit for us in terms of getting us there. Hey, Vein Ripper, let's go. We've actually done exceedingly well. I mean, now we've done especially exceedingly well in the Mythics category. Vein Ripper, I'm so excited to have pulled that. And right behind that, a Meticulous Archive, which is also running about 11 bucks at this point. That's a heck of a pack right there. We've had a couple of really good ones. Vein Ripper plus a Meticulous Archive, that's great. Absolutely wonderful. Yes. Gonna be a good box. Going to be a good box. So like I said, I was while I think I did pretty well in OTJ overall as far as like drafting is concerned. I did really well with MKM, even though it's a very quick, very fast format. And I've kind of struggled in Bloomburrow. I haven't found my footing in that set yet. Illicit Masquerade. Slime Against Humanity, still pretty good. A little past the halfway point in the box. And with a Vein Ripper and a Rakdos and 4 Surveil lands on the board, right now we are in very good shape. All right, Crawl Whipcracker, Kylox Visionary Inventor, hey, Aftermath Analyst. I wonder if that card is still seeing play. I don't really think so. I feel like once the Capenna lands disappeared, that deck kind of dried up. Okay. Rope. Wojek Investigator. Actually a pretty good card. Not value, but a pretty good card. Hey, there we go. Archdruid's Charm. So this is one of the other rares in the set that is still above $3 price point. I think Archdruid's Charm still running around, I'm going to say right around 5, maybe 6, but hey, that's still good value. Don't thumb my nose at that. In fact, we're most of the way between the Leyline and the Archer's Charm and the case of the Locked Hot House. I think we're one War Leader's call away from hitting all of the non-Surveil land rares that are above $3 at this point. Hey, Mythic. Oh, it's a special guest gamble. Cool. Okay. I don't actually know the price tag on this offhand. Actually, I love the art. I feel like consistently with the special guests, the art is spectacular. Gamble was not an exception here. That's really cool. And as far as hits are concerned, I don't know offhand. I'm going to say, it's probably worth at least a few bucks. And actually, just a really cool card because I've always loved Gamble. So that's really neat. Special guest Gamble. We like that. That's a nice unexpected surprise. Okay. Escape Tunnel. Lazav. And that will do it there. Yeah, so at least at this point, I think, again, we're, as far as the non-Surveil lands are concerned, I think we're one War Leader, we're a War Leader's call away from hitting all the other value rares. Looks like we have just a couple of packs, or just a few packs left in this middle column. And with the addition of Vein Ripper and the Meticulous Archive, in pretty good shape. Pyrotechnic Performer, also quite a good card. Doesn't really see any constructed play, but ooh boy. Card was a beast in limited. This card I actually feel like I should toy around with more on Arena. Okay. Granite Witness. Reenact the crime. Crime scene. Scene of the crime. And Topiary Panther. Sure. 2 packs left in the middle column. 4 to move on to column 3. Well, I want to say only, but we're actually only, even with the gamble, we're at 5 mythics, but only 4 set mythics so far. So we probably have a couple more of those to hit. Be cool if it could be like Massacre Girl or Delny. That would be most good. Or Ansrag, sure. Ansrag is like the... This is at one point this would have been like, oh yeah, Ansrag, because when the set first came out, Ansrag was what, 20, pushing maybe $25 at one point, and I want to say this card is probably down to a couple dollars at this point. It's a card everyone is very excited about, very obviously geared around building a commander deck around it, but it doesn't see any constructed play, and if it's a commander, it's like probably not seeing any play out like in the 99. So of course it has dropped. Like I said, interesting, cool pull. Not gonna like thumb my nose at it. I'll even put it in the mythic pile I like, but it's not the hit that it was when the set first came out. That is for sure. Again, it doesn't feel like a feels bad mythic, but yeah, it's not like the when MKM first came out, that was one of the value driven cards. Pretty funny. All right, last pack of the middle column. Clan Basher. Rare is an outrageous robbery. Okay. All right, so heading into the third column here, we got to feel pretty good about things. We've got 6 mythics, 2 of which are Vein Ripper, Rakdos, and honestly even Ansrag, and a special guest Gamble, and we are sitting on 5 of the Surveil lands at this point. Excuse me. Yeah, well, 4. 4 of the Surveil lands, so we're, doing pretty well there as well. Again, 5 is kind of the goal for a box for me. All right, unauthorized exit. No witnesses. There we go. There's the 5th. Commercial District. Very nice. I want to say District is probably right around $9 or so. So that is a good hit for us. And that does bring us up to 5. So anything above it for me is I think we're definitely in the plus column at this point. And as far as the actual box price, when you consider the Vein Ripper is $20, Rakdos is $5 or $6, and then you've got 5 of the Surveil lands plus some of the rares. This is going to be a good... Oh, and a 3rd foil rare, and it's actually one of the... Actually, 3rd foil rare, and one was a ley line, and the other one is a case of locked hothouse. And again, I think this is probably $4, maybe $5. So, I get it. It's not like foil Vein Ripper or anything, but I'm not going to thumb my nose at it. That is value out of the rare slot. All right, Kellen and his ridiculous travels. Buried in the Garden. Insidious Roots. And you've heard me rattle off a bunch of the uncommons and commons, whether it be Slime Against Humanity or Pick Your Poison or Insidious Roots. Probably one I'm forgetting. There's some good uncommons and commons in this set. There's certainly some playables. So that's why I say, like, if you're collection building and but you also don't want to go to Pound Town, you could do worse than opening an MKM box at this point. Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot off of the list. Unscrupulous Agent. Assemble the Players. I actually kind of like this. I think this is a neat little enchantment. Hide in Plain Sight. Like a Bad Cocoa. Another Pick Your Poison. Cool. Are there any other Surveil lands we can jam out of this box? All right, Inside Source. Very strong common. Krenko's Buzz Crusher. That will do it there. Hey, foil Slime Against Humanity. That's probably a buck or two. Steam Core Scholar. No More Lies. There's another solid uncommon. Another Slime Against Humanity. Pretty good. Again, we don't really talk about it, but when you factor in the expected value of a box, you probably should take into account things like that. Like, hey, what is a couple of the, if you have some commons or uncommons that are running a couple bucks a piece, that's not nothing. Hey, I feel like we've hit them all now. Cool. Actually, I think this completes a playset for War Leader's Call for me, which I was also quite excited about. It was one more reason for me to open the box. Yeah, very good. I think War Leader's Call still probably around $6. So that's not bad. Not bad at all. In fact, I mean, we've done very, very well as far as the rares are concerned, given the fact, given the fact that there isn't a lot going on after the Surveil lands. We've hit them all. Auspicious arrival in the showcase. Case of the Uneaten Feast. Watchdog. Yeah. I do think that the initial shock of like play booster boxes, and this is probably a fair conversation to have in general about play boosters, is like, okay, we're getting rid of draft, we're getting rid of set boxes. Like, I myself was a fan of being able to pare those down into a single product SKU, but they're going to be more expensive now because you're getting more packs. And it's like, okay, but like the number of double rare or triple rare packs is pretty small. Anne's Rags Rampage. So it's like, are you actually getting the extra value that it was supposed to be there, that was supposed to like justify the upcharge? And simultaneously, I will say this as a counterpoint for somebody who is largely a limited player. So I enjoy sealed and drafting. Like, to me, sealed is out of control because you can run into some sealed pools where like, I don't know how I'm supposed to overcome that. Like that person has, 6 mythics and 5 uncolored rares. And so, like, while it was always, pretty random, the fact is now it's like you can just run into some pools where I'm like, yeah, that's seemingly impossible to overcome. And even on the draft side, right? It used to be like, okay, I know there's going to be 3 uncommons and a rare or mythic in the pack, and then based on what's passed to me, I can kind of figure out what the person passed to me and what they took. And that really isn't the case anymore. Clandestine Meddler, another Wojak Investigator, Cryptex. Is this the worst mana rock of all time? It might be. The 2 mana rock, I should say. I'll preface it. There's worse mana rocks, but as far as 2 mana rocks are concerned. 3 packs left. Burden of Guilt. I don't think we hit a rare off of the list, for whatever that's worth. Oh, but we did hit a fourth? Yeah, a fourth foil rare. This is Aurelia, the Law Above. It's not going to be above $3, but I think this is a really strong card. And as far as a foil rare is concerned, you can do a lot worse than this. So that's cool. I like that. I dig that a lot. Cryptic Coat, there was another card that initially had some hype to it and had a nice little price point. It's come way back down at this point. It's, it's $1 or $2, but it's still a quality rare. Long Goodbye. There is a pretty good form of removal. All right, 2 packs left. Any other mythics or any other lands? Surveil lands. All right. Mythic, Pride of Holclade. Sure, why not? The Crocodile Elk Turtle, of course. Oh, hey, there we go. So there is another one of our Surveil land friends. This is our, 6th of the box. And Portico's, again, as I mentioned, is probably one of the lesser, but even the borderless, they have like a little bit of a multiplier to them, especially if they're foil. This is probably still about $8-9, so that is a quality hit for us. And is our sixth Surveil land of the box. Beautiful. Excellent. All right, last pack. Wrap it up. We'll debrief this for a second, kind of talk about MKM, kind of talk about what this box looks like. Spoiler alert, this is going to be plus EV column. All right, Case of the Pilfered Proof. Forensic Gadgeteer, this time in the showcase. The Dossier didn't really hit as an art style. I know some people like it, but Kranko, Baron of Tin Street. And Breakout. And that will do it there. All right, so did get a cool special guest. I don't know how much Gamble's carrying as a price tag. It's definitely not a nothing burger. But the fact that we hit Vein Ripper and Rakdos as 2 of our mythics really, really helps. That is huge. I mean, Vein Ripper's $21 by itself. We hit 6 of the Surveil lands, which I would consider to be like in the above average column. I think average is probably 5. 2 of them on the borderless. So I think we did quite well there. Rares, as far as rares are concerned, again, I know it's a little bit of a wasteland in this set outside of the Surveil lands, but hitting War Leader's Call, Archtruth's Charm, and then a foil Leyline of the Guild Pact, foil Case of the Locked Hothouse, and then a regular Case of the Locked Hothouse. pretty good value there. And then just some other cool playables out there. So this is definitely a good box, but I also think, no, I think this is probably a pretty good case of like, outside of like hitting a crazy good special guest, like this is a pretty exceptional box. Because we hit the rares, because you hit the Vein Ripper. So, but I still think that, you know, kind of the point in this exercise is that for the cost of a box, if you wanted to just collection build, not get taken to pound town, like wanted to open a product that has a really high floor, it probably has a smaller variance, right? Like the top end is pretty, the ceiling is low, but the floor is very high. That's kind of what I like about MKM. So anyways, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me. Hit the like button for me. By all means, drop me some comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, everybody, and be well.